Hey Libra, intuitive soul coach here with your final countdown end of 2023 reading. Welcome back to my channel if you are returning, and welcome if you are new. These are general readings. Please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below your reading. All right, you've received a bonus card here. You actually have the Garden of Venus, and Libra, you are ruled by Venus. So this is a beautiful bonus card to receive, and it's all about rest and renewal because boy, oh boy, it looks like you have earned it. You have obstacles, you have the wall, you have the perfect storm, and you also have community here. So it looks like there has been some obstacles, Libra, that you have faced in the recent weeks, months, or even years. When the wall shows up here, some of you have built a wall of protection around your aura. You've built a wall of protection, and I'm also sensing that some of you are coming out of maybe hibernation. You're coming out of this protective barrier, and that may be why you have the power of community here showing up next. I really like this energy for you, Libra, because you're a warrior, right? This is about you being able to do what you want to do here on earth, but I'm also getting here standing in your integrity. It is about doing what you say, saying what you mean and meaning what you say. It's also about you being able to overcome these obstacles. I also see here that you're stepping into the unknown and you have the courage to do so. Now, for some of you Librans who've really struggled with obstacles, there is a sense of rapport coming in here, or a little bit of a pause. There's that light, and you may not be able to see it right now, but I feel towards the end of the year, possibly even December energy, Libran season, depending on when you're watching this, if you're watching this in October, things are shaking up for you. Now, Libran season, October, eclipse season, it's all coming into the mix. And what you're doing now is you're putting those dots together. Have you ever seen one of those puzzles or those dots where you connect the dots, right? That's what's happening here for you, Libra. And you're connecting the dots on certain things that maybe you weren't able to see clearly. You didn't know how it was going to turn out. And maybe you still don't quite know, but you're willing to trust and embrace and surrender is what I'm getting here. So right away here, some of you, there's a wall coming down, and that wall was built on some sort of a protection mechanism or a barrier because you've been hurt in the past, Libra, because maybe you've struggled financially. For some of you, this is family wounding, specifically with the mother is what I'm getting here. And I just heard the name Pam or Pamela or Pammy. Please take that as it resonates. Maybe that's your mother or you. Okay, the wall though is about finding ways, finding solutions to come out of an obstacle. Some of you have hit a glass ceiling. Maybe you've hit a glass ceiling in your career. Perhaps you've hit a glass ceiling in a relationship or within your health. You're taking it to the next level here, and you're being asked to trust and to embrace, because you have the perfect storm coming in here, which I actually love the perfect storm card, because this is all about the courage to step into life. This is the courage to fully show up and do hard things, right? As I always like to repeat Glennon Doyle's words, we can do hard things. And Libra, if you've gone through some challenges, it's because your soul knew that you had what it takes here in this earthly realm to conquer, right? To conquer in the highest spiritual form. Even if this shows up in the physical as a challenge, some of you, you've had it, you've had enough. You're sick of coming up to a wall and coming up to a dead end is what I'm getting here. Okay, this is very deep. It's very powerful. I'm actually going to read a little bit from the guidebook here. I wasn't going to because I'm reading intuitively, but I want to dive more into this wall because this is very important that you have as much information as you can. And we actually turned right to the page here. because this is about inconveniences, those minor or major inconveniences that life has to offer. This is about detours and possibly a little bit of a time of non-action. And I feel this non-action for you, Libra, in the month of October specifically, because you're connecting the dots. So there's a lot going on within this beautiful mind of yours, but you're also opening up your heart. You're bringing down that wall a little bit in order for you to trust that there's a new path or a new beginning. And it says there are moments in your life when you are so geared up, so sure that you're on track with such drive and momentum that you are shocked and confused when you encounter a wall. This unpredictability occurs outside your ability to plan. And Libra, if you're anything like me, right? I'm a Libra as well. I like to plan. I like to prepare. And sometimes when that planning gets thrown for a loop, it tends to imbalance our scales, right? It tends to kind of put a little bit of a damper or a little bit of a hook in our day or our life, our relationships, our careers. And it says here, this unpredictability occurs outside your ability to plan, regardless if you've done everything right. It's imperative that you change your attitude now. This temporary roadblock is not an obstacle to blast through. This is not an invitation to push harder, cancel other plans, or worry about who will win or lose. This is a stopping point to enable you to slow down and to contemplate the part of the manifesting equation that you and everyone else forgets. Life on life's terms will override your best laid plans. Yes, as inconvenient as it may seem, this experience is an important reminder that you are a human being, not a human doing. I'm going to repeat that, Libra. You are a human being, not a human doing. Perhaps you've been reminded of your mortality, or that you are but a small part of a bigger universe where your destiny intersects with others. Your life may be meant to serve another purpose at this moment, and your attention meant to be directed elsewhere. That's what I'm getting here for a lot of you Librans, is divine detours that shows up. But sometimes we have those plans laid out. That egoic, controlled part of us likes to know and predict the outcomes, right? And there's something here that may have been in your presence for the last few weeks, months, or even years. Consider that this place of temporary non-action is exactly meant to be for you, Libra. Perhaps it's because all you desire and have set in motion needs time to coalesce into the form on the other side. Could it be that all the elements are not yet in place for its manifestation for the highest good of all? Patience is required now, and the wisdom that this might be a great time to take a break and contemplate gratitude. What is truly yours will never be walled from you, Libra. We are the ones that wall ourselves off to situations, to people, to places, to opportunities. When we let spirit, which remember, we're a piece of spirit, we are the divine. When we allow those plans to kind of be woven for us, it allows our ego to step aside, right? It allows us to surrender to the egoic ways versus how we think something must be portrayed, okay? So I'm getting that some of you, this could be major, it could be minor, we'll clarify here, but I feel like there has been a wall, and now you're opening up. So the end of 2023 is about you opening up. If you've had in your mind, it's my way or the highway, or you've been single for quite some time, or you've been in an energy of independence, solitude, or you've worked with a beautiful community, I feel like this is a time of expansion, expanding your resources, reaching out to others. You have here gathering around. So in the coming months, whenever you're watching this, whether October, November, or December, there is more community here for you. And you are the social butterfly of the zodiac. Even though you may want your solitude and your downtime, right? Some space for you. There is a few close friends of yours or some family members or a spiritual community, just like you guys, Intuitive Soul Tribe, you are my community, right? There is this community coming in that's helping you go through some of these challenges, some of these obstacles, to help ride that wave with you, to become more enlightened. There's more understanding, there's more compassion, and there's more love. So when the power of community shows up here, it's to help you open the door or to help you gain access to the key that you hold within yourself. Because this is a keyhole. I'm not sure if you can see it there. It's illuminated, but it is a door with a keyhole. So I feel like you're going to find that key within yourself through community, through spiritual community and connection with your guides, your angels, your loved ones, your ancestors, those here in the physical, friends and family, soul tribe. So this is really central coming into your energy in the coming months. Because if you have had to do everything all on your own, or you felt like you were the only one that could fix a situation, yes, you are the only one that can decide how, right? The how piece. And what I mean by that is not so much the how, but more of the trust. And I'm really getting those words strongly for you, Libra. So some of you may have lost trust in a situation, in a person, or even within yourself. So gathering around here, you're going to rebuild some sort of trust, and that's going to help you unlock some secrets, some new doorways, some discoveries that you didn't have access to, or maybe you've closed the door to in the past. So this is pretty deep, Libra. Now you also have here the perfect storm. The perfect storm is about the courage to step into your life. So if things seem to be spiraling at this time, your relationships, right, your career, your money, the world at large, it's bringing you to a point with the 4 and the 4 here. Some of you are seeing 4s like crazy, but you could also be seeing 8s. Some of you may have strong Leo placements in your chart. The 8 is all about strength. It's about authority, power. It's about control as well. So some of you have struggled with control, either from others or within your own self. And sometimes when we grow up in settings or environments that are hostile, that are traumatic, or that are emotionally, physically, mentally unstable in any way from one or both parents, we tend to carry that into our adulthood as control. And when things feel like they are spiraling, it brings us back to the trigger of instability, possibly when we were younger, or prior marriages, prior relationships, things of that nature. This perfect storm is happening for you. Like it says, you're a human being, not a human doing. And when we succumb to maybe the victim mentality of why is this happening, or what did I do to deserve this, it lowers our vibration and it can hold us hostage. That's a self-sabotaging behavior that we tend to put on, right? After all, we are having a human experience. But I challenge you, Libra, to take a look at your words and start to reframe them, start to shift them. Because what if I told you that everything that is happening here for you right now is happening for your highest good, so that you come out of whatever this maybe challenge, shadow, or darkness was with a broader sense of strength, love, compassion, trust, all of those things that on a deeper spiritual level that we come here to earth to achieve, to strive for, right? This perfect storm is happening here, and it's wooing in for you in order for you to take a deep look inside yourself as well. You have the courage, right? That strength energy, that Leo energy. For some of you, it could even be someone you're dealing with. That is all about you being compassionate and gentle. Because some of you carry, I'm getting a lot of masculine energy here, even if you're female, specifically if you're female, you may carry a lot of that, action, that masculine, get things done, wall up at times. And it's okay for you, Libra, to be feminine. It's okay for you to be receptive and open to receiving. And for you gentlemen out there, it's also important for you to balance up that masculine and feminine, because we have both of those characteristics, right? Both of that energy in us all, regardless of our sex. And the perfect storm coming up here is actually quite perfect, right? It's perfect in the divine matrix, in the divine plan. Now, your bonus card, like I said, you have the Garden of Venus, and we're actually going to read this from the guidebook at the very end, but it's all about rest and renewal. And who doesn't want to be in the Garden of Venus? So know that you are coming out of something, and there are silver linings, there's blessings, there's miracles, there's gratitude right on the other side. But sometimes we get so stuck in one way of thinking that we need to shift the energy and know that this right here is our birthright. We get so caught up in the challenge and the struggle and the attachments and the what ifs and the lower energy, that we forget that that Garden of Venus exists within us and around us already. So you're definitely coming up to a point in your life, Libra. I'm getting a little bit of a crossroads. It would not surprise me at all to see the Judgment card in your reading, maybe even the Justice, because I feel like those horns are blowing, and they're blowing for you to take a look at and say, okay, what can I see differently at this time? And there's the Justice. There you are right there. What can I see differently? How can I view it from a new perspective? And I really love this Justice card as well, because look at her. She's sitting on her, we'll call it a throne, right? Sitting on her chair, sitting on her throne. She's holding the scales, and you can see that there's two cats there on each scale, a black and white one, and they're fighting over what? Duality, polarity, control, right? So there is a little bit of a power struggle here, but look at that. She has a blindfold over her eye, but one eye is peeking out. So this is the all-knowing eye in a sense. Nothing can be hidden, right? In a sense, this is all about law and order. It is about justice, right? What goes around comes around. It can be the law of karma, the law of cause and effect. When the Justice shows up, this is you. This is equality and fairness. And Libra, if you were saying to yourself, this just isn't fair, right? This isn't fair. Why is this happening? That's that victim mentality. That it's important to know that if you've put out good, you're going to get it back. And even though it may not necessarily be overnight, but it's also another meaning here is what I'm getting. And that's why that Judgment is coming in so strong as well. It's not up to us to judge others or to bring about karma for someone else. Okay. And some of you, this could be people around you who at times are trying to bring self-sabotage or imbalance to the mix. But remember, the only thing you can control is how you respond and how you react to the situation. So if this is a legal situation, Libra, or if there was any sort of untruth, bias, opinions, if there was inequality, anything like that happening here for you, I do feel like there is a karmic, for some of you, karmic cycle, or some sort of shift in energies that are going to bring about more balance based on the choices and decisions that were made in the past. Okay, so some sort of balance coming in here for you. I like this. Now you could be on this end of the scale or this end. It doesn't matter. But because your bonus and your outcome is the Garden of Venus, I feel you, Libra, have been doing good work. You've been doing a lot of reflective work. You also see where you've been wrong. Right? And that's a beautiful trait. Libra, if you can get to the place of knowing and understanding how you could have done things differently or how you've learned and grown from experiences, if you can look at your own triggers, your own, we'll call them faults or flaws, but I feel like it's more of just growth opportunities. If we can look at that and shift and transform the way that we human, right? The way that we humanize or be humans, I feel like you're learning a whole lot here about yourself and about others. So let's see what else we have here. The Death and the Eight of Swords. Yeah, this is about coming out of your own imprisonment in a way. You're shifting energies. If things have been imbalanced for you here and it's felt like you've been in a little bit of this imprisonment, or if you've been stuck or held, again, another blindfold. So for some of you, because there's a blindfold here on the Eight of Swords, but because justice can see, I feel that there was a situation that you saw, but maybe you didn't want to trust, or maybe you didn't want to deal with, or maybe you just put up a wall. And that in itself may have caused a little bit of a block or an obstacle. Eight of Swords, I feel like you're coming out of, okay? Because both of these cards did show up in reverse, but the Eight of Swords is you coming out of that energy of feeling, again, victim or persecution even. Eight of Swords can be letting go of an old story. And Libra, that can be hard as an air sign, because we weave the stories. We're, fantasy as well as logic, but we tell ourselves, all of us tell ourselves these stories over and over based on experiences that we've had in the past. That's what we do. That's part of how we process as humans. We have subjective thinking, right? And we have our conditioning based on those experiences, but you have what is called maybe even an egoic death, or a forgiving and compassionate review of the past. Again, more judgment energy coming in, but it doesn't surprise me to see two major arcanas, because this is a major time of year for you. The Death card in reverse, though, says you were resistant to some sort of obstacle or change, something that maybe you didn't want to look at, okay, maybe you didn't want to see. Maybe you weren't going by the book. Maybe you were pushing up against the grain. Maybe you were lying to yourself at times. But I do feel with this death, you're going through a spiritual growth that you have been going through. This is a big transition. This is a time of an ending. And Spirit is saying here, don't hang on. Head straight towards this perfect storm, even if it messes up those scales and causes a little bit of imbalance for now. Because in the grand scheme of things, justice here will prevail. There will be balance. And the only thing that's going to keep it imbalanced is putting on some sort of facade, or resisting change, or not being, completely honest with oneself, or to not come out of this death energy, because something possibly needs to die in your life, right? It could be an old belief. It could be a relationship. It could be a job. It could be something that's hit a glass ceiling. So something needs to shift. The energy needs to shift. Whether, again, that's an ending or an evolution, right? Which both really are bring about it's a sense of evolving. But let's take a look at the power of community and what we need to know about this gathering. There could be a gathering, okay, this is just for a few of you, of course, if you already know that someone has crossed over. There could be a gathering, a celebration of life, power of community. It may not seem fair. Some of you, yeah, there is definitely some things going on here with the Eight of Swords. I also get you're moving towards freedom. Some of you may have felt handicapped, or you felt stuck. You can actually, it looked at first like she was she was held hostage to this chair, but I feel for some of you, maybe you were wheelchair bound, or you weren't able to get out of bed. There could have been a sickness. Something may have held you in your tracks health-wise, okay, mentally, physically, emotionally. Something may have kind of bound you to a space. That's what you're overcoming. So in the present energy here, you do have the power of community. Let's see what we need to know about the gathering around. This is kind of a deep Libran reading. I hope it's resonating so far. Yeah, we have the Four of Swords. It is in reverse. Some of you, it's very important not to overthink, not to overwork, but we need to rest. Allow yourself that time to just be. And I don't mean just be and start thinking about everything and anything under the blue moon, right? This is actually allowing yourself to pause, right? To focus on maybe some meditative practices. Some of you, this could be a spiritual retreat. Four of Swords is also about rest, again, and healing. It is all about this garden of Venus. It's rest and renewal, basically. Look at her. She's laying there, and she has her cute little black cat laying right next to her, who is also sleeping. There's the moon and the stars in the background, and she feels like finally I'm able to breathe again. I'm able to fully show up in all of my perfection, right? My imperfect perfections with the perfect storm. So she's able to just rest. And for some of you, that's been very difficult to do. I'm also getting pain in the right hand here. So someone could be, maybe they've had some carpal tunnel. There could be arthritis here. Pay attention to typing. Okay, maybe you've been typing too much, or maybe you sprained a wrist or a hand. Okay, that's just showing up here, Libra. Take it as it resonates. But with this Four of Swords, some of you may also want to at times disconnect from community or disconnect from gatherings. You may want to just kind of separate yourself. If that's what you are needing and that's what you are feeling here, Libra, don't be afraid to disappoint others. And that's important because sometimes as a Libra, you may say yes when you don't really mean it. And maybe you say no when you should be saying yes, or vice versa. Okay, but the Ace of Pentacles is saying that there's going to be new opportunities here for you, and you're going to have a sense of clarity. You have the Moon in reverse and the Ace of Pentacles upright. So this is good. See, we're moving out of some sort of stagnancy here, some sort of obstacle. We're allowing ourselves to just pause, to breathe, to surrender as well, because the Four of Swords is about renewal. It's about taking a break. Instead of ignoring the signs of rest, instead of obsessing about a situation, a relationship, a job, money, health, whatever it may be, and you're opening yourself up to a new beginning. Okay, I definitely see that there's something new in the physical, which we'll clarify, but the Moon card showing up in reverse says that there could be some illusions that are shattered. There could be something that you find out, some sort of truth about another person, truth about how you feel, about your career, your finances. There may be some triggers showing up from maybe childhood or from a past experience. This is also the energy here with the Moon. Something is being exposed, and there could be some shadows, yes, that have been lurking, but underneath it all, you knew, right? This Justice, this is you. There's an eye open. Something you may have closed your eye to, something is now opening up within you where you're taking off that blindfold and you're able to see it all. Why and how? Because you're willing. You're willing to open up now. Now, for some of you, there was a subconscious piece of yourself that maybe didn't want to see the truth or didn't want to see something for what it was. But now you're taking full responsibility or accountability here, or maybe you're seeing this within someone else, because some of you may have had a complete illusion. Maybe it was a job that you got hired for. You thought that it was going to be something that it was not. Maybe it was a relationship that you were in and you didn't realize how a person's characteristics or who they truly were, because maybe there was rose-colored lens, right? Maybe there was something that was showing up within you that you weren't meant to see at that time. So this isn't a reading to call you out, Libra. It's a reading here for you to cut yourself some slack, to be gentle and kind with yourself, and know that the tides are shifting, right? Know that these obstacles are not going to be here forever, but you're going to come out stronger because of them, because you are so, so very loved, Libra. And the Four of Swords says it's okay to get yourself some rest. I really like the Moon card here as well. He's looking into the water. This cat, black cat, right? The one that's laying next to her there is looking into the water, and in the reflection, the cat sees this big black panther, right? So it's bigger than it thinks. So you may be realizing at this time, Libra, some pieces and parts of yourself that maybe you weren't able to necessarily tap into, or you didn't believe that you had this power, this magician-like energy, or this unlimited potential that you could tap into at any given moment. That may be what you're seeing here as well. That's for some of you. For others of you, you may be seeing an altered ego, or you may be seeing an inflated or someone with a very high ego. You may be seeing traits and characteristics that maybe you didn't see before, or you just turned a blind eye to, right? And so I feel like this is showing up where someone may be feeling like they are all high and mighty. Okay, and you need a little bit of a rest from that. You're thinking, no, I can't deal with this person right now. I just need to pause. Next, you have the Ace of Pentacles, the power of community. There could be a new person coming into your life. This could be a coach, a mentor, a therapist. It could be someone who offers you a job or a home. Okay, because there is a home in the background. There is, a cat. And of course, she's holding the pentacle there. So when this Ace of Pentacles shows up, there's a new beginning in the material and the spiritual realm. And even though the Pentacles is more about the earthly, the physical, such as finances, material gains and losses, prosperity, health, and body, this is also about connecting to the divine in order to manifest something into reality here. So a lot of you, there is unlimited potential, and you are realizing that after some time of feeling stuck in this darkness, you're realizing that there is an opportunity here to head towards what? To head towards the Garden of Venus, because after all, you're Venus. You're showing up here as Justice and Venus, so this is pretty amazing. Let's take a look at the perfect storm, and then we'll clarify what these opportunities are. So the perfect storm, the courage to step into life. And this has been showing up for a few different signs here. It may have even been Leo, possibly even Gemini. You may be dealing with a Gemini or have Leo placements in your chart. Let's take a look here. There's also another message with this perfect storm, the courage to step into life. They've been giving me this song lately for a lot of us, and I feel it's time to free ourselves. And the song is Live Like You Are Dying, right? I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing. So a lot of you are realizing that there's so much more out there. There's so much more to life. There's so much more to experience, or there is this energy of, I want to feel life again. I want to live like I'm dying in a sense. Now, some of you, there has been a brush maybe with death or a close call with health or illness. Okay, for others of you, this is a relationship, a career change, or a shift that's really allowing you to live your life and your time here on earth with everything you got in you, Libra. No holding back here, okay? Now we have the Temperance, which is about moderation and balance. Look at her. She's doing the, what's this? Is this a tree pose? I'm not a yogi, forgive me. But this is, excuse me, this is the energy of moderation, being able to moderate our health, right? Our emotions, the way that we respond. This is moderating our food intake and finding balance through maybe yoga or exercise, mindfulness, mindful practice. And look at this. She actually has one eye open here. So someone's either given a wink, you're going to see a wink, or you're able to you're going to open both eyes here. But maybe that's part of the dichotomy. That's part of the polarity as well. It is part of finding more balance. You are the sign of balance here. So when this Temperance card shows up, it's about patience. And we heard all about patience with the obstacles. Patience isn't a fond word of us humans, right? Especially in this day and age when everything is instantaneous, it's immediate. We have things at, our fingertips. We can have DoorDash. We can have, jobs where we can work from home, work remotely. But I also sense there is an energy of coming back to your roots here, Libra. Some of you are focusing on sustainability, maybe growing your own herbs. You could be planting a garden or preparing to know more about maybe horticulture, herbalism. I'm getting here as well, focusing on learning about foods, maybe the metaphysical properties of foods as well. Some of you are cutting out or limiting or reducing your alcohol consumption, your sugar consumption here. I also sense that you are focusing on body, mind, and soul. And in order for you to step into this perfect storm, you must find that balance within yourself. And that can be through some of these things we've talked about as well. Next, you have the Five of Cups. It's in reverse, which if I'm going to see the Five of Cups, I like to see it in reverse because this, again, has been showing up for a lot of signs. Because sometimes we focus so long on what's happened in the past, right? That old mental story of loss, abandonment, rejection, fear, denial, right? Not celebrating what we have right in front of us. And she's focused on these 3 cups that have spilt out into the ocean. And she doesn't realize that what's behind her there is a plethora of fresh foods, of wine, right? Of prosperity and abundance. And there's even celebratory balloons here as well. So when she's decided that she's had enough focus on the loss or the past or what she does not have, she's going to get herself up and she's going to look at what's right there. And look what's right there. There's a cat licking its chops at this big old lobster on the table wanting to feast, because there is a feast here. There's a cornucopia of opportunities, Libra, of beauty, of abundance, of love, of success. So there is celebratory energy coming in here as well. I'm also getting with the 2 white balloons, there's a sense of innocence required, or a sense of childlike wonder, kind of going back to a fresh state. And it doesn't mean that what's been done is okay, but it means that you're starting in a fresh energy. It means that you're not going to allow the past to come in and mess with your relationships, with your abundance, with your happiness, right? With your success. It means that yes, something has been lost, but it doesn't mean that the world is over, or it doesn't mean here that loss happened because you earned it or deserved it of any nature, right? It's happened for your growth. It's happened for your evolution. And now there's something to celebrate here. And we see the big old yellow balloon that's straight focused on the solar plexus chakra. That's your confidence returning, Libra. That's your powerhouse. That's how you show up in the world. And how are you going to show up? You're going to show up with the courage to step into this perfect storm. Wow. All right, this reading is going to go probably a little bit longer, but I feel like this is very deep and it's very needed at this time. So even if you're a Libra out there and you're like, Melissa, my life is great. I have this, this, and this, right? Awesome. I'm so happy for you. But there could be, things that come up within you, and Spirit is saying, don't turn a blind eye, whether it's within you, whether it's around you. It's okay to focus on getting the clarity that you need to truly evolve in the most purest form. Okay, so let's clarify here the Garden of Venus, rest and renewal. We're going to read this to you here, and then we'll pull some final outcome cards, and then we'll connect with the soul truth. But it's card 25. Libra, you may be born on the 25th, the 26th, or you may be 44 or 56. And this Garden of Eden, so trust that this is where you're heading. If you're not there already, it's not a place per se, right? It's within you. So you already have this within you. But once we peel away those layers and those layers and layers, and we come back to that sense of purity with the double white balloons, this is where you find yourself. The place of all is well, rest and renewal, and complete self-acceptance. When the Garden of Venus appears, you are invited. You're actually summoned, Libra, to return to the pleasure garden of love. It is time to leave the field of battle. Put your sword away. There is nothing you need to defend anymore. Step through the gate into the garden of earthly delights. Bask in the joy of the wish-fulfilling trees and the scents of the healing flowers. You have returned home. You are weary, and it is time to rest deeply and be renewed. Go into this sacred garden alone, as there is no need for another to be present to experience its pleasures. Really stop looking for the other. Enter by yourself. Allow your senses to intoxicate you. Leave all thought behind. Lose your analytical mind and return to your body. In the Garden of Venus, there is still a pond that shows you your reflection when you stoop down to drink. Oh my gosh, you can't make that up, right? Here's your reflection. It says here, let's see. There is still a pond that shows you your reflection when you stoop down to drink. Who is that staring back at you? Look at who you have to become. Oh my gosh, I'm just going to keep this moon card up here for you to look at. Who is it staring back at you? Rinse your face with these healing waters and practice deep acceptance. Love who you have turned into, Libra, with all your imperfections and blemishes. The goddess Venus holds a mirror that allows you to see yourself in all your flawed beauty. Do not become caught in its spell. After a quick glance, take the mirror with you and return to the battlefield, that you may reveal to others who they are becoming. Then you will no longer have a use for your sword. Whew, I have major goosebumps here because some of you, that justice, right? That justice, she's holding her sword there as well, or at least she typically is. I don't see it here in this illustration. But you're putting down your swords. You're putting down some sort of fight. You're putting down some sort of obstacle here, Libra. You're entering into that place. So this is where you need to be, right? That's your bonus. That's where you need to be, is in this garden of Venus, so you can see who you truly are. And that's what this reading is all about. And I'm hearing here, mirror, mirror on the wall. Beautiful. Let's get a final outcome card for Libra, please. Final outcome. What do we have for Libra? Final countdown, end of 2023. Libra, you are so very beautiful. You are so handsome if you are a gentleman, right? Even if you're a guy, you're beautiful as well. Even if you're a girl, you're handsome inside and out. It's time to own it, embrace it, love yourself for all that you are, all that you've become. Let's get just one card, please. Thank you. All right, 2 final outcomes for Libra. The 2 of Pentacles and the 6 of Cups. You have the chimpanzee. The chimpanzee, represented as the 2 of Pentacles, is all about balance. It literally is about going with the flow and having fun, right? Chimpanzees are fun. They also are very family focused, family oriented. So you have that community. So when you do enter the garden of Venus, like it says, go alone. But when you come back to this battlefield, you may be faced with community or faced with family struggles or social dynamics. But it's important for you to look within in order for you to find that balance. Have fun. Spend the rest of 2023 not taking life so darn seriously, Libra, because we do that, don't we? You have the Otter, 6 of Cups. This is about reunion, reminiscing, and it's about the inner child. So we're getting a lot of childlike energy, a lot of innocence coming in. This is about fun, laughter, and play. 6 of Cups can also be second chances. It can be a second chance to reignite that passion, that spark, that zest, that joie de vivre for life, right? This is a really wonderful time for you to see all that you are, right? Be all that you are. And last but not least, let's get a message from your soul's truth and see what you need to know at this time. Thank you, Spirit. Excuse me. Am I focused on what I want most? One reason so few of us, Libra, achieve what we truly want is that we never direct our focus. We never concentrate our power. Most people dabble their way through life, never deciding to master anything in particular. That's a quote by Tony Robbins. However, I'm going to challenge that. I'm going to challenge it, right? Sometimes we got to give a good challenge, a wink. And that's what you're doing here. A lot of you Librans are given a challenge in the wink, and you may be questioning the status quo. But it's important, yes, to focus. But it's also important to release judgment. For those of you that are dabbling in the different things, it's okay to do that as well. So many times we feel like we have to focus on, an external outcome. We have to be this one person, right? We have to have this specific label, and we can't do anything else outside of that. I'm asking you to, yes, focus on different things that you want to bring into your energy field, and specifically narrowing something down, because that can be a challenge in itself, is narrowing it down to focus on that. But for those of you that are Jill or Jacks of all trade, it's okay to focus on those things as you grow, evolve, and learn. You don't have to have just one specific destination. So today's soul action, what you focus on grows. Today, ask yourself, is my life a reflection? There's the moon, there's the reflection. Is your life a reflection of your values, or do you need to make adjustments? Okay, prioritize. So what this message really is saying here as well is what you focus on grows. So focus on the things that you want to see more of. And that can even include, sometimes we focus on what we don't have, right? With that 5 of Cups, we can focus on the loss and then we just feel like we're engulfed in it. And that's where that 8 of Swords shows up. The 8 of Swords says we're focused on what we don't have, the loss, the imprisonment, the rejection, the abandonment. We focus on all those things and it feels like we're drowning in it at times. This is about getting clear and focusing on, right? Focus on your Garden of Venus, Libra. That's what I want you to focus on for the rest of 2023. What does that Garden of Venus look like for you? How can you rest and feel renewed? That's the focus for the end of 2023. That is what I have for you. Deep reading here, Libra. I hope it resonates. And I just seen 4, 4, 4, 4. And remember, you have the 4, 4 with the perfect storm. So mirror, mirror on the wall, right? Who's the purest Libra of all? Thank you so much for being here. If this resonates, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. It certainly helps get the divine channeled messages out there to those that need it most. And it certainly helps the growth of the channel, which I greatly appreciate. If you're vibing here, Libra, and haven't already hit that subscribe and bell button, please do so. Thank you very much for your time and energy. Lots of love.